Hello everybody, this is Funny Bob and welcome to race number 33 of the 2020-21 NROL Skittles Cup Series season. This is the Kleenex 400 at Kansas Speedway. Yep, at this point, like I said in the Siemens Nashers, I've said pretty much everything that I need to say at this point in the season, but we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. I say that we still have a little bit of a ways to go in the Skittles Cup Series, but 33 races in, and this season has seen so much action, and we're going to see even more action today here at Kansas. Of course, though, yesterday was a bit of a crash fest of a race, so we have turned down the difficulty a little bit, so hopefully we won't have that today. So, with that in mind, let's bring you the starting grid for this race. Starting the pool was Kurt Busch, alongside second is Kevin Harvick, third is Freund Bobbin, fourth is Brad Keselowski, fifth is Denny Hamlin, sixth is Tim Tom, seventh is Kyle Busch, eighth is Nia, ninth is Brian Blaney, 10th is Douglas, 11th is Martin Jr., 12th is Gudrun, 13th is Joe Logano, 14th is Oliver, 15th is Matt Kenseth, 16th is William Byron, 17th is Eric Jones, 18th is Alex Bowman, 19th is Eric Almirola, 20th is Cole Custer, 21st is Purser, 22nd is Russell David, 23rd is Duck, 24th is Ryan Preece, 25th is Chase Led, 26th is Matt DiBenedetto, 27th is Felix Faulkner, 28th is Tyler Reddick, 29th is Christopher Bell, 30th is Bank Coaches, 31st is Donald, 32nd is Ricky Sales Jr., 33rd is Quinn Boyer, 34th is Ryan Newman, 35th is Jimmy Johnson, 36th is James Six, 37th is Chris Buescher, 38th is Rebecca, 39th is Austin Zillage, 40th is Bo Walls, 41st is Dirtbird, 42nd is Mr. Lighty. Alright, so time for Cup Series racing in Kansas. This is going to be a rather interesting race, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Just gonna straighten out the. Alright, unless it was a jump cut. Yeah, another one of those happening because I had to sort of take care of the screen. But we are good now. So, Cup Series of Kansas. Should be a rather interesting race indeed. Okay, so pace car. Yes. Oh yeah, I guess it's worth mentioning. Bit of a back and forwards battle for the points between Mark Jr. and Ryan Preece, who just won yesterday's race. So let's see what happens tonight. And green flag is in the air for the Kleenex 400 at Kansas Speedway. Off to a clean start. And Roy running multiple lanes wide as Tim Tom going all the way to the bottom lane on Kurt Busch. And has a clean start in Kansas. And look at that, Tim Tom having some sort to Ed Wood, a driver that we don't see up here very often, leading the race to start. And run a caution already. Well, wow. Really? Okay. Race just started? Wow. So I turned down the difficulty to have the drivers go, a little less faster, but unfortunately, that hasn't made a difference just yet, as we have a caution on lap number 1, and it involves Tyler Reddick, who already gets into a bit of a bad situation, and few drivers just lose control. Oh, Ryan Preece involved. Oh no. Ryan Preece. Oh, that is very disappointing. Ryan Preece, who just won yesterday's race, is out already. And he happens to be driving the race sponsor as well. Wow. The driver that people were expecting to run well today is already out on lap 1. Yeah, Kansas though, it's a bit of a dangerous track. But Ryan Preece, one of the drivers that people were expecting to do well today, he is already out of the race. Wow. And of course, there's other cars who got damaged in the crash, all coming up the road. Not the way these guys want to start this race. Well, then, I guess, man, a lot of cars on pit road actually. Let's skip forward a little bit. Yeah. So we have a number of slow cars on the track as well. So that could be interesting. So it's out on the pace car. But I don't think we're going to see anyone come to the front row, as nobody... Well, nobody even had a chance to go lap down. Nobody wanted to lap down under caution either. As Christian Bell just getting into the lane. Alright then. So, lap 1 accident. Time to go again. Pace car pulls off. And green flag back in the air in Kansas. And I turned down the difficulty for this race in hopes that we wouldn't have as many crashes, and while that was a lap 1 accident when the field's all bunched up, it's going to be... Well, we're going to have to see how long can this field go without another crash. As Freund to Bob, I'm going to go to lead on Tim Tom. Freund to Bob, and it's been a while since he's last won a race. Luckily though, car's slowing down a lot. Alright, looks like that we're just going to have a lap 1 crash, and the rest of the race, however, is going to be a lot more clean. So Freund to Bob, while he is top 10 in points right now, he's going to have to do a little bit better if he wants to be consistent. But at least off to a strong start today. Alright, well, on the flip side, though, it seems that the lap 1 crash was just a bit of a one-off. Drivers now racing clean, and we should be in for a good race. And here's Ryan Blaney. Now, Blaney, he's been up in the point standings, but probably not as high up as he should be. In fact, he had the points lead for quite a while. But then, after a recent run of bad races, he lost a couple positions. Since then, the race for the points has been a back and forth battle between Ryan Preece and Martin Truex Jr. It'll definitely be interesting to see where it goes after this race. You know, we talk about Tobago Motorsports cars winning and stuff. Ironically, one of the Tobago Motorsports guys hasn't won much this season. Happens to be the man himself, the guy in charge of the whole thing. And there hasn't really been many times this season where Freund to Bob looks good. The only time that I did look good was the one time that I won the season. Back at Circuit of the Americas. Since then he's been there, but he struggled. As Ryan Blaney now with the overtake to the lead. Also, remember when drivers were speaking well In yesterday's race, well, looks like we're not going to see any of that today. For Bob, I'm going to lose a few spots here now as he's stuck on the high line. Here's an Amlin, though. He's had nowhere near as good a season as Floyd Bobbin. Despite having a win, he hasn't done that well in points. So here he is, running second. Now, of course, there's a mile-and-a-half track, so we're going to see at least one pit stop in this race. At this point, you know, drivers have developed a bit of a rhythm for these mile-and-a-half tracks. They've gone so many of them recently. You know, just a few weeks ago, we went to Chicagoland, Kentucky, and then we went to Atlanta. Well, the field's starting to become single file, actually. Not a ton of action going on yet. Ooh, they're getting pretty close. Oh, here goes Tim Tom. Tim Tom with a pass on Denny Hamlin. Floyd Bobbin also with a pass on Denny Hamlin. And Fernando once again driving a 50-year Amtrak Special, this time a modified version of the SL2 car, which we have seen once already. He actually drove this car back at Hillside, which was the first race after the Australia break, or the Australia stretch, and then the spring break. So here he is now looking to put that car in victory lane. But for right now it is Ryan Blaney. Well, you know, yesterday's race was... I mean, I got through a rocky start, but I got pretty action-packed later on. Seems now for this race, though, since we've turned down the difficulty a little bit, drivers aren't running as hard. That's made it more difficult to pass. Now, of course, these cars are quite different from the Siemens National Series cars. We did make some changes for this race. As Fernando makes a pass on Tim Tom. And it seems while passing is possible, it is very difficult. So yeah, this is now one of those races. Wow. It's quite something how a track can produce two very different races. Well, we have a little bit of action going on now, though. As Martrix Jr. picks up a spot. No, he doesn't. Did he pick up a spot? I don't know. He did something, though. But now the Ryan Blank continues to lead and laps traffic. Sounds like it's not too far away. Yeah, there's a lap car right in front of us. Clint Boyer, Kansas native. Unfortunately, having a pretty bad race due to the crash that just happened. Well, at first I was getting a bit bored with yesterday's race, there's so many crashes going on. Now I'm also getting a little bit bored of this race because of nothing going on, you know? I mean, I guess at least cracks would be interesting. Well, thing is though, crashes don't make a race. But it is quite hard to pass. Now, perhaps drivers are just logging laps, waiting for the pit window to open. Which, based on the trends that we've seen at mile-and-a-halfs this season, they usually come until some point late in the race. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how long until, you know, the pit window opens. Well, in the meantime, though, we continue to race. Well, that traffic, though, is coming up. Meanwhile, Ryan Blank continues to lead. His front development falls in second, and here there's a couple lap cars in a row, actually. Tyrek and Matt DiBenno, both with pretty broken rear ends. Okay, well, very varying reason lines are happening. Bob goes high a little bit. Yeah, I can't quite make it work though, as lap cars now just decided to get out of the way of, you know, the race. Ooh, Denny Hamlin having to back off a little bit as not to hit Tyler Reddick. It's been quite a while though since Ryan Blaney's last won a race. I mean, he won 3 races before the Daytona 500. He hasn't won a race since then, but he has been consistent and has stayed high up in the points. And while he doesn't have the, well, does have the points back at the moment, you know, he's still working to at least stay in the top 10. And, you know, you definitely want to stay in the top 10, you know, at this point in the season, because when the playoffs begin, that's really going to be when the race for the championship kicks off. And you happen to have a pair of those guys who are currently in the top 10, running 1-2, Blaney, who currently I think is third in the points, from the Bobbin. He's not as far up, but still trying. At the moment, though, nothing really to report. This field has just gone into some kind of mode. Also, David, though, picks up a spot. Well, yeah, it seems to be pretty difficult to pass. So, at this point, all they can really do is circle the track until the pit stops or a caution. You know, I am thinking that maybe turn down the difficulty a little bit too much, but even at these speeds, these drivers should be able to get a good run and make a pass. So, I don't know if they're just refusing to pass or they just can't. Although that being said, there is some other pass going on. Virgin moving on up. He's right now behind his teammate Tim Tom. Looks like front bumper though might try to get around Brian Blaine at some point. Well, it seems now the tire's a little bit too worn. So the next plan might be to just wait till the pit window opens and go for it from there. Because pit stops are definitely going to impact this race. And I've seen a few times now where the field just changes position once pit stops begin. At this very moment, though, there isn't much else to report. Yeah, at this point, drivers are just circling the track, waiting for pit stops. Well then, yeah, this race is becoming more of a dud. Not the first dud though that we've seen. You know, Auto Club was a bit of a struggle to watch because drivers couldn't pass. Oh, here we go for development with an attempted pass on Ryan Blaney. Does he have enough stick though to complete it? Yes he does. It's close, so it's side by side off of turn 4. And Frontal Bombin successfully completes a pass on Ryan Blaney. And Blaney gonna lose a few spots here. As Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick gonna go by on the low line. And Ryan Blaney loses the lead and drops down to 4th. Here we go. And now Kevin Harvick on the inside of Denny Hamlin. And after a number of laps of nothing going on, we have activity as Kevin Harvick moves up to 2nd. And Tim Tom as well trying to pick up a spot on Denny Hamlin. Look at that. Tim Tom moves up another spot, and so does Gridrin. Wow. Here comes Alex Bowman. Denny Hamlin will finally gain to the bottom lane. Ooh, not quite. Those Alex Bowman has a run. And look at that. Meanwhile, we have a bit of a battle brewing for 3rd as Tim Tom looking for a way around Kevin Harvick. Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney makes it to the bottom lane, but not Denny Hamlin. He's still stuck on the high line. And also, David Wood actually picked up a spot on Douglas a little bit back. He's now picks up another spot on Denny Hamlin. Oh, we have a bit of a battle brewing for a lead once again, though, as Kevin Harvick looking for a way around Frontal Bombin. And we're back to a more contemporary race now. Here's the Xbox Nerd up into 9th as well. The Xbox Nerd really needs to improve his racecraft because he hasn't had a very good season. You know, last year, Rex had 3 wins, made the playoffs, but then fell off when the playoffs began. And so far in this season, Rex has 2 wins, one of which came not too long ago at Daytona. and he's got to prove himself here. That was pretty fun, but it looks like the field once again settling down a bit. Waiting for the pit window to open. And yeah, if you made a nose, Boyer, another lap down. And that's about some other guys though. You got Crystal Bell, Ryan Priest, and Derper out of this race officially. Meanwhile, Todd Reddick, Clint Boyer, and Matt Benito with crippled cars. All those guys can do is just play a ring around the rosy until the completion of this race. So now we go back into limbo mode as we once again trying to log in some laps. I don't think pit stops are too far away now. Yeah, pit stops might be just around the corner. Lap traffic. This time Max Benito with a pretty broken race car, but that's not gonna slow down these guys. Alex Wynn as well, running in the top 5 at the moment, which is pretty good. That Aqua's car looks pretty nice. But it was looking better in front, but right now that lead is up to front of Bombin. Kevin Romer, they'll look low for a little bit. But I think ultimately those drivers are just going to start waiting for the pit window. Kevin Romer looking pretty close behind Porter Bobbin, but not quite able to make a pass. Alright, so I think pit stops are too far away. But, you know, some tracks they wait till the middle of the race to pit. Others, for some reason, they wait until late in the game to then pit. So I'm going to predict we're going to see pit stops around 7 laps from now. Like around lap 60. Or, chances are we won't even see pit stops, we just go all the way to the checkered flag. But that seems a bit unlikely. Traffic again. Oh, this time it's Donald. Oh, we haven't seen him get lapped yet, but he's the last car on the lead lap. So Donald, he's been fast-ish, but I mean, yeah, he's got a decent pace. He's not the slowest car in the world, but not quite fast enough to keep out in front of these guys. Another lap car though. Hang on, what's this? Oh, it's how Reddick, who conveniently pulls on the pit road at this time. Tyrek though, he's a lap down car, so I'm coming up pit road. Probably not something we should get too excited about, because you never know. Alright. Oh, what's this? Alex Bowman. What happened to him? He just went high. We're gonna have to take a look at this in greater detail. Oh, because of Donald holding up the field. Okay. As he conveniently goes down pit road. But that messed up Alex Bowman a little bit, as he got stuck on the high line. And he's going to lose a few spots here. Wow. Alex Bowman goes from the top 5 down to, looks like, about 8th. And he's going to have to fall behind Denny Hamlin. Also, more stuff going on here. And it's still starting to split off, and pit stops are starting to occur. And pit stops are underway in Kansas. Yep, right about this point I was predicting that we were going to have pit stops, and here we go. Alright, and here comes for Noel and Kevin Harvick down pit road. Other drivers often stay out. Here's Alex Bowman in front. About to get overtaken by Douglas though. A little bit weird timing to do that, as these two are about to pit, but I guess you can pass wherever you can. And here they come down pit road. So this time it's Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman. Kurt Busch has been looking for a good race. Oh, I'm not having a good race today. I mean, he's leading now, but only because of pit cycles. Kind of like a freebie. And here he comes with Ryan Newman. Alright. And not sure what's up for the bobbin. Alright, well the field's all over the place. That happens to be a siren. Because of course. Alright, well time to see where everybody is as a result of pit cycles. Yeah, the field's kind of all over the place. Okay. Alright, well what's up with Kurt Busch? Huh? Did he seriously get back out in front with Ryan Newman? Nah. What we're gonna see, as Ryan Newman with an overtake Wow. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's go back a bit and see what happened. Because we gotta see this. Okay, as I disappoint cars on pit road. So let's go back up. Let's back up a bit, and because some rather curious things have just happened. So Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman, they come down this time by together. Now, let's just see how fast their pit stop is. So we're gonna look at Kurt Busch here. Any moment now. Here he goes. Oh, pole sitter. Okay, forget about that. What happens? Okay, change tires on one side. And that's it. A 2-tire stop for Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman. At least they're getting back up to speed. Wait, weirdly. Okay, here we go. There we go. Pick up speed on the back straightaway. As they re-enter the track. And it looks like that Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman have pulled a strategy call. And Ryan Newman goes beneath Kurt Busch on the front straightaway. Oops. And it looks like that Ryan Newman is officially your leader at the moment. We're gonna wait a little bit longer, see what happens. But it looks like Ryan Newman has played a strategy move. Yep. And it looks like that pit cycles have now gone through, and Ryan Newman is officially your leader in this race. But there is a little bit of a thing, because these two only took 2 tires, whereas the rest of it likely took 4 tires. So there's gonna be 2 tires versus 4 tires, and yep, they're already losing a bit. Yeah, Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch may have played a strategy here, but Freund Albin and Grudgeon and everyone else behind have those tires. It's gonna make things interesting though. Alright, so Freund Albin trying to find a way around Kurt Busch. Oh, gets close to him. And Ryan Newman, who not the best driver anymore, was out to lead a little bit, but will have to surrender to Freund Albin. And Freund Albin back to the lead in Kansas. But here is Gridrin. So Freund Albin doesn't have this race unlocked just yet. He still has hold off Gridrin for another 13 or so laps. Meanwhile, Russell David, who made through pit cycles pretty well, he's now also faced with the same challenge of getting around Kurt Busch. And just yesterday, Russell David came runner-up behind Ryan Preece, had a shot to win, but scraped the wall a few too many times. And once again, he is in a pretty good position. Next up is get around Ryan Newman. Luckily though, Russell doesn't have to worry about any loss of momentum today. I think just go round by and keep going forwards. Meanwhile, for the lead, Here is Gridrin, who is trying to challenge Fronto Bobbin for the win. Gridrin, who has had about as bad of a season as Simtom. He's made up a few spots and points recently, but nowhere near enough to make it to the playoffs. So all Gridrin can do now is win as many races as he can for the rest of the season and win. Well, Gridrin hasn't done much of that. So he's trying to go for it today. Meanwhile, as these two continue to battle for lead, Russell David slowly but surely gaining. And lucky thing for Russell David, no scraping with the wall to worry about today. He can just chase him down if he can. Yeah, he is slowly but surely catching up to these two. And now these two are actually going to have to put up with lap down car in a moment. Here's Clint Boyer, slow car. Now lap cars haven't really impacted this race much today, but they're still worth avoiding. Bob and Gridrin are going to go right around Clint Boyer. Russell David going to follow suit as well. Ooh, has to take a little bit of a weird racing line, but he does it cleanly. Matt Bennett as well. Luckily this is on the straightaway. But Russell David is slowly but surely catching up to the top two. Very impressive stuff. And you know, Russell David, runner finish in the Siemens National, but the Siemens National Series, of course, Russell David not ready for points. However, this is the Skittles Cup Series. This third place finish is still going to be very good for Russell David as far as the point standings, but I think he might want to do a little bit better. He's got the two leaders right in his sight. And one of the leaders happens to be his own teammate, who hasn't won in quite a while. Russell David, though, continues to gain ground. It might be a little bit too late, but we're going to see if Russell David can run these guys down in the next few laps. And here goes Gridrin beneath Fronto Bobbin. Lead changes occurring. And Gridrin to the lead in Kansas. Gridrin, who has not won in a very long time, has also triggered a side-by-side battle, a little bit of a battle between the Tobago Motorsports boys, but here comes Russell David, who is just behind Gridrin. Russell David has one more pass to make, but he's got his own teammate behind him. This is going to get interesting. 4 laps to go. Okay, about 5 laps to go in Kansas. Russell David trying to run down Gridrin, but he's got his teammate behind him. This is going to get very interesting. Gridrin, though, actually pulling away a little bit. Russell David got to take a better racing line if he wants to keep up with Gridrin. 4 laps to go. No lap down car is coming up. Meanwhile, Gridrin hasn't won in quite a while, having to hold off 2 Tobago Motorsports cars. He's gonna have to slow up. Well, okay, maybe not slow up, but he's gonna have to get around Danger 6 now. 3 laps to go. We go around Gridrin, no problem, or around Danger 6, no problem at all. And Gridrin actually after taking a bit of a weirder racing line. This might come down to the wire. Oh, Fronto Bobbin gets into Danger 6 a little bit. 2 laps to go. Man, it's hard to pass here, though. You know, Russell Davies had a few close calls now with winning a Cup Series race. And this is one of those very close moments. And here we go. White flag. 1 lap to go in Kansas. One more lap for Russell Davies to make it around Gridron. It's going to be very, very close. And here he goes. Russell Davies with a run. He's got one more chance to make an overtake. Going into turn 3. One last shot. But it's going to be too little too late for Russell Davies. And it is Gridron who will win the Kleenex 400 at Kansas Speedway. And Russell Davies, for the second time in 1 week, finishes runner-up. Wow. So Gridron, he had to hold off the two Tabon Motorsports cars in the closing laps, and he did it beautifully. That being said, however, I bet if there was a few more laps in this race that Russell Davies would eventually ram down, but it was just too little too late for Russell Davies. Just couldn't get there in time. And with that, another Solus Motorsports driver has gone to victory lane. But it is still a very respectable runner finish for Russell Davies. That's going to help him out big time in the playoffs. Well, at least for now. But it is Gridron who comes home with the win today in Kansas. And Russell Davies, of course, second. Freund Bobbin comes home in third. So two Tabon Motorsports cars in the top 3. It would have been a bit better if it was a 1-2 finish. But, of course, Gridron had to be there. But still pretty good for Gridron. At least he's got a win. Chris Buescher, though, comes home in 4th. Ryan Blaney, 5th. Marchester 6th, Tim Thompson 7th, Alex Bowman 8th, the Relix Box in 9th, Rebecca 10th, pretty good finish by her, Douglas in 11th, Prairie Serpent 12th, William Byron 13th, Kyle Busch 14th, Doug 15th, Bangkok 16th, Austin 17th, Kevin Harvick 18th, Eric Jones 19th, Matt Kenseth 20th, Denny Hamlin 21st, Ricky Stenhouse 22nd, Jimmy Johnson 23rd, Ryan Newman fall all the way back down to 24th after being in the lead for a little bit, still pretty good I guess. Eric Gumbel 25th, Cole Custer 26th, Kurt Busch 27th, Nia 28th, Oliver 29th, Brad Keselowski 30th, Joe Legon 31st, Miss Light 32nd, Chase Elliott 33rd, Bubba Wallace 34th, James 6 35th, Donald 36th, Tyler Rack 37th, Clint Boyd 38th, Matt DeMille 39th, Chris Bell 4th, Ryan Preece 41st, and Dirt Bird comes home in 42nd. Well, there you go. That is all from Kansas. Two very interesting races, and you know, there were a few moments in this race that were a little bit boring, but then there were other moments that were very action-packed near the end of the race. Russell Davies, though, almost. He could smell it. A first win in the Cup Series, but unfortunately got to wait a little bit longer. But it is Gridron who is victorious today. And, yeah, well, let's see what happens next time. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in whatever I make next.